Game dev celebrates awful thing. Game dev gets fired. Game dev be like, what? What happened to free speech? Cancel campaign. Now I can't afford my Blue Sky subscription. No. Yes, the Western games industry's floundering around at the moment. Confused. Realizing that there are in fact consequences for being a dumbass. Realizing in fact that there is more to social media than their little echo chamber. Yes. Those posts are available for everyone to see. Incredible, isn't it? The executives of the Western games industry must be really confused right now. Let's talk about it. Now, the last thing the big money players of the Western games industry would have expected to be involved with is the tragic events of last week. After all, that's a tragic event that has to do with the political world. I personally wouldn't expect the gaming industry to get involved with this whatsoever. It's the entertainment industry. I mean, they do keep telling us that we're the ones making everything political. They never do it. We're not being political, we're just putting leftist ideology into everything you love. Okay, maybe we are being political, but don't you call it out, because then we'll call you a bigot. Same old, really, isn't it? So to the surprise of absolutely no one, game devs across the Western world revel in the death of Charlie Kirk. Out loud. For the world to see. That's insane. And to the surprise of those game devs, there were, in fact, consequences. With Sony in particular collectively slapping their foreheads. Now, when these are the people that they hire, I don't see how there was any other outcome. They clearly make it obvious what their beliefs are. They clearly don't know how to keep their mouth shut. That is a big game dev issue right now, yeah. Put those two things together and bam! You get a game studio full of employees hell-bent on ending their own careers. You just hate to see it. They can't even afford their Starbucks anymore. They probably can't even afford to donate money to the second largest political streamer. How dare I find people getting fired funny? That's their jobs, that's their livelihoods. Well, I just find it easy to laugh at evil people. The telling thing for me over these last few days has been that none of these companies have released a statement. None of them came out and said the obvious. This is bad, and we clearly don't want these people representing our company. So, fired. How hard is that? Wait, one did. Yeah, one. Microsoft. Now, I am surprised. We're aware of the views expressed by a small subset, not a small subset, of our employees regarding recent events. We take matters like this very seriously, and we are currently reviewing each individual situation. Comments celebrating violence against anyone are unacceptable and do not align with our values. Once again, Microsoft confuses the shit out of me. It's like Drowsy spamming confusion over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. We recently found out they have the ID Xbox Developer Acceleration Program, which supports games like Take Us North. Definitely not propaganda. So yeah, coming out and making a statement confused me. Microsoft feels so mismanaged at the moment, and Xbox is really starting to feel like something that Microsoft lost control of, or just let them get to the state they are in now. Like I've said a few times on this channel, they confuse me. You think they're going one way and then they curve at the last minute and they confuse you. But hey, at least they said something, which is a lot more than the other companies did. I don't buy for a second that they believe the words they put down. They also could have ignored it because it's not like they're under pressure to do it because none of the other companies did. So they weren't necessarily going to look worse than the rest of the industry. This statement was in response to the employees over at Blizzard posting and reposting some abhorrent things about Charlie Kirk. So literally just after I finish recording this, I hop on X and see that Bethesda just went mask off with this clip.
Nice place. You don't care much about these fascists, do you?
Might not seem like much, but given the fact that it was deleted, seems guilty to me. Also, given the context of last week, what a weird clip to upload to promote your game. Yeah, it all seems very on purpose to me, like they were thinking they were going to pull a fast one. No one could possibly know my true intentions here. This is such a bad look for Bethesda, given a producer for them was already caught joining in on the celebrations. And Bethesda have said nothing. Nothing at all. It's such a simple statement to do. This feels like part of the gaming industry going full mask off. I hope it works out well for them because the game sold like shit anyway. The fact there's no statement, the fact no one has been fired, the fact that this comes 5 days after the event, which means they've all been discussing this at the workplace. Does this look like a post a studio does if they're condemning the actions of those in celebration, even in private among amongst friends? No, it doesn't. Evil people. Oh well, it's not like there's anything to miss from Bethesda these days. They've been making their games the exact same way for 20 years, and the people that made those legendary games are most likely no longer there. Game devs going mask off this week, which brings me to the CEO of Epic Games. Yes sir, the CEO of Epic Games, Tim Sweeney, had a few things to say. For those of you who don't know, Tim Sweeney is the founder of Epic Games. He also wrote the original Unreal Engine, which introduced us to many great new things in gaming, such as dynamic coloured lighting, volumetric fog, and what you see is what you get 3D level building tools. A lot of great games have been made thanks to him, so for that, he has my respect. And he's about to lose it. Now, if he could just make Unreal Engine 5 less of a piece of shit, that would be nice. That would be nice. That is nice. Wow. Imagine buying a game and it just working.
How about new?
Thanks to Unreal Engine 5, that rarely happens. God damn it! But I digress. So, Tim Sweeney decided to reply to a statement from Clemson University, in which they condemn any and all expressions that endorse, glorify, or celebrate political violence. This was in response to a few of their professors celebrating the Charlie Kirk situation. But the part that apparently got under Tim Sweeney's skin was this. We stand firmly on the principles of the US Constitution, including the protection of free speech. However, that right does not extend to speech that incites harm or undermines the dignity of others. We will take appropriate action for speech that constitutes a genuine threat which is not protected by the Constitution. Tim Sweeney responded with this. What amendment says you can't diss someone? Not seeing it here. Then he screenshotted the First Amendment there, not sure why. It's a little weird. He's got involved here to say, actually, they were wrong when they said the Constitution doesn't protect speech that undermines dignity. Shut up, Timmy. But when arguing with people in the comments, he let his mask slip. Just a little bit. Harsh criticism is exactly what the First Amendment exists to protect. If after 4 years of public universities ostracizing Republican professors for unpopular lawful speech, we get 4 years of universities ostracizing Democrats for unpopular lawful speech, what progress is that? Shut up, Timmy! Then he promptly got buddied by Madam Savvy, who at this point should be called Madam Savage because she went in. She's ruthless. She pointed out his hypocrisy. He didn't speak up when conservatives were getting exiled for their beliefs, but now some stupid morons want to celebrate the death of someone. Now is the time to step in. Bro really stepped back and thought, my time has come. I will defend the people. Celebrating violence? That can't be right. Huh? However, my favourite comment was this one. Try reading what they said again. I know it might be hard without IRL FrameGen to speed up your poor mental optimization, but the part where they said incites harm is something that's been part of the few limitations on free speech since Brandenburg version Ohio 1969. Beautiful. That man just laid the smack down upon him. I really don't know what he's doing here. It's some weird mental gymnastics. The First Amendment also doesn't mention the fact that there are laws in place against speech that incites violence. So yes, doing the research because I'm not American, it is true you have the right to criticize but not advocate for violence. Wait, that can't be right. I've seen a number of clips of a certain someone saying some very suspicious things. Huh. Weird. Undermining dignity isn't exactly something you want to defend. It's bullying, it's harassment. It also extends to racism, by the way. Why are you defending that, you idiot? So I've got an idea. The CEO of Epic Games defends the right to undermine dignity. It's time to go on Fortnite. I've got some things I want to say. As many people pointed out in the replies, the funniest one being this. Not because of the slur, because it points out the hypocrisy in what he's trying to say. Before anyone tries to make the assumption, that's why I find it funny. So if I say that particular word in the Fortnite proximity chat, will you ban my account even if it's explicitly allowed by the First Amendment? No. Of course you can't undermine anyone's dignity on Epic Games. That right there would be an instant ban. So what is he doing? It just looks like he's coming to the defense of these people who celebrated this awful thing. It's just a bad look and it's stupid. Essentially, you should be allowed to celebrate assassinations, especially if they have opposing opinions to you. But I swear to God, if you misgender someone on Fortnite, I will personally ban you. Shut up and fix your engine, Timothy. Because yet again, we have another trash Unreal Engine 5 game. Shocker. I'll be talking about Borderlands 205 in the next video. I have a mission for the Western games industry. Don't get involved in politics. Difficulty impossible. Now, all of this rightful outrage over game devs celebrating this awful event is being labelled as a cancel campaign, even from journalists, with Kotaku dropping one of the most biased articles I have ever seen. That honestly doesn't even deserve to be read, it's that trash. This is not a cancel campaign, it's not even close. A cancel campaign is trying to ruin someone's life because their politics are different to yours. Or they did something awful, like a Hollywood actor supporting Trump. I mean, how could they? How could they? Look, I don't think people understand how dangerous it is to celebrate extreme acts of violence. You are showing support for an awful act. You're essentially encouraging it. Whereas something like Kershaw speaking her opinions and people trying to get her sponsorship to drop her, that is a cancel campaign. What was it even for? She pointed out a double standard, I think. So let's see. One is a danger to society with the possibility of inciting more violence and more awful acts. The other, hurt their feelings somehow. Not to mention companies have rules against this sort of behaviour because it's a bad look for them. That's not a new thing, by the way, and it's the case for most workplaces. Say something hateful on the internet? Fired. I'm good friends with a teacher. Yes, I have friends. Somehow. But yes, they have to be very careful with what they post on social media. To the point, they may as well not be on it. And these game devs should count their lucky stars that they're not here in the UK. Celebrating that would be grounds for arrest. Well, they wouldn't, really, because he was a right-wing activist and
If I speak, I am in big trouble.
the reason the Ghost of Yotei dev got fired was because she was costing the company money. Ghost of Yotei dropped in pre-order sales because people saw what that moron said on Blue Sky and said, nah, I'm not supporting this. There was a lot of normies who didn't even say she should be fired, just that they were no longer going to purchase the game. If you do that to your employer, cost them money, then yeah, they have every right to fire you. There's also a matter of reputation and company rules and guidelines. So yeah, what was I saying? Not a cancel campaign. You're costing us money, damaging our reputation, likely going to result in layoffs because we're making less money, but yeah, sure. You're still hired. So yeah, the gaming industry getting itself well and truly involved in something they have no business being involved with. It should have been business as usual, but I guess they couldn't miss the opportunity to dance on someone's grave because he had different opinions. That's it from me. I doubt we'll see many more firings. There will be a few, but not many. But thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.